Alright, so this morning I'm going to be doing an upgrade, an AC upgrade. I'm going to be swapping out this condenser for that condenser. I'm going to be putting in a 3-ton condenser and a 3.5-ton coil. We're upgrading from an old R22 system to a 410A. I'm going to use the existing line set. I'm just going to clean it out really well with nitrogen. No, that's not recommended, but it is. You are able to do that if you clean it out well enough. So here we go. So basically what I'm going to do is, because this compressor is still running, it's just old, I'm going to pump all the Freon into itself with the compressor. So I'm going to close the high side, and then I'm going to put my service tool in this valve, and I'm going to close that valve while I manually actuate the contactor. And basically it's going to suck all of the Freon into its compressor, and then I'll shut this, thus pulling all of the Freon out without having to evacuate it right now. So not a big deal. Hear that sound? That means that compressor. I'm just gonna let it pump for a minute. This compressor's shot. It's so old that I'm not gonna really hurt it, so we should be good about right there. Okay, so technically right now all of the Freon in that system should be pumped into itself, and I should be good to start cutting it apart. Well, there's the old condenser. Got it cut out, line set exposed. That's where the new one's going. Now this particular coil is going to be pretty easy. I don't have any gas in the line. Usually the gas is coming out here, and you gotta get under the house and disconnect all the gas and everything. This is going to be a fairly easy swap, so I'm excited about that. Basically I'm going to take these covers off. I'll get inside. The only thing that's going to be a pain is that, all that. It's going to be hard to deal with. Oh yeah. She's ready to be changed. Alright, got the old coil out. It's in pretty rough shape, for sure. But fairly straightforward on this one. I don't even think I'm gonna have to crawl underneath the house. which is highly unusual and not very likely, but it makes Daddy happy. So this coil in its own cabinet, but it still fits in this Nordine cabinet well enough. There are some spaces and some gaps up in there that I need to try to fill. I don't get too much blow by, but it's gonna work out, I believe. But I think I am gonna have to crawl under this house. And if any of you guys know what Moab's about, it's freaking Black Widow Central, so wish me luck. Alright, so I'm dry fit outside and in. Notice the flow. That is the flow. You have your high pressure liquid coming out and returning, and the low pressure gas and the suction. I'm about ready to start brazing, and so I'm gonna hook up my gauges. I've got my flow meter. You wanna make sure that you're flowing nitrogen, so you don't get any carbon buildup inside the copper pipe. Some people do. Some people don't flow nitrogen when they braze, but it's just a good practice to be in. The filter dryer will technically clean all that stuff out, but then you get a clogged filter dryer and defeating the whole purpose. So we're gonna do it the right way. Okay, I'm gonna start brazing now. Hopefully you can see it well enough. I know the angle is very good, but I'm not gonna record every single weld, but and 3/8 are obviously a whole hell of a lot easier to braze. Well, hopefully there's no leaks. Alright, I'm all brazed in out here. Braze the inside. I've got nitrogen flowing. Basically what I do when I braze in a condenser, I do the outside first. I just swap my lines from one side to the other so I can keep nitrogen flowing. I always take my Schrader valves out. Just good practice. Don't really want to burn inside the valves or anything. There's a lot of some people probably think are unnecessary, but I would rather be safe than sorry. That's kind of my setup right there. That's my setup right there. Works well. Alright, I'm totally brazed in here. I'm gonna do just a quick purge, see if I've got any leaks anywhere. £30, £40, £50, whatever. Just enough to pressurize the system to hear any major leaks. Nothing there. No leaks there. No leaks there. Looks like my gauges are holding. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no leaks. Got it wide open. I'm gonna put about 300. My gauges, my regulators are a little messed up, so from what I found, about 1,000 pounds here obviously is about 366.6 on my gauges. But yeah, I'm fairly confident I have no leaks. I'm gonna let the nitrogen sit inside the line set for 15 or 20 minutes to try to displace any oxygen or any impurities in the line. Make sure it holds so there's no leaks, and then I will begin the vacuum process. Pump it down. Okay, so I've pressurized the system. It held 3 pounds for 20 minutes. Isn't dry. So I'm going to put my Schrader valves back in. Do not ever forget to put these back in. If you forget to put your Schrader valves back in, you're not going to have a good time. Alright, so I'm pumping down. When pumping down, you have to achieve negative 29.5 inches of water column before you can start to pump into microns and get a deep vacuum. So right now, 29.9 actually. I'm getting there. The way I do it is I like to pull everything out of my gauges. So once I get to negative 29.9, I close everything up, close certain things, open certain things. Make sure all my fittings are tight. Like that, was loose. Okay, so now I'm pulling microns. I'm going to pull a deep vacuum. Factory suggests that you hold 500 microns or less before you release the freons. So normally once I get to about 1500 microns, then I'll close my bleed off valve on my pump and really start to pull a deep vacuum. And because of the R22 replacement, it's probably going to need to pump down for a long time. So you can see it's kind of going a bit slower, which is fine. I'll just have to keep it on a vacuum for probably a good hour. Alright, now we're really pulling. Everything looks good. Alright, so when I went to situation, the conduit was plumb full of water. I don't know why or how, but so I went ahead and replaced that. I got the wires hooked back up in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this hooked back up in there, and I'm pumping down right now. Looks like I am getting pretty close. 250 microns, not bad. A lot of times people will have mechanical gauges. Mechanical gauges are a little bit harder to use because obviously they're not digital. These filled piece S-Man 460s are pretty high tech. They dumb you down quite a bit. They'll do everything for you, so they'll let you know when you've achieved when you've pretty much pumped it down as much as it can. This number here will be 0. So I'm just gonna keep letting it pump down, but yeah, everything's going good. I don't foresee any issues with this problem, or this system. Yeah, we're all wired in. Got my control wires, my L1 and L2 power legs coming in. Any of you that are wondering, yes, I am a universally certified HVAC technician with the EPA. So I've had schooling, I've had training, I've taken lots of tests to be able to get those certifications. So for the most part I do know what I'm doing, but I learn something new every day. And this is a really good career to be in. It keeps you on your toes. And it's fulfilling. It's awesome to see something come together and know that you did it. Alright, there it is. Finished product. Running like a charm. No issues. Took me about 4 hours, and that was dinking around quite a bit too. Not too bad. So I guess if you guys have any questions, or you want to talk trash to me about it, which I'm sure some of you will, let me know. Let's hear it in the comments. Do me a favor and like this video, share it, subscribe to my page. You know, we all trying to get paid out here, you know what I'm saying? Adios.